Hello, everybody. We're going to talk about making database changes a tier 1 artifact. And I'm not going to be looking at my stupid phone while I'm talking to you guys. I'm really teeing up something cool for the middle of the presentation. Because it's really a multimedia presentation we have here for you, you know. So I am between you guys and booze. And that is a terrible position to be in. So let's tighten this up. Let's get this thing moving. Let's talk about database changes. But first, I want to point out that this is not a phone. Hey, come on in. We got plenty of room. Well, one more seat, because it's huge. See, the camera's going to be pulling in really tight on me. And I told him to make it really tight so I can talk about the thousands and thousands of people that are in the room. So we were talking about this not being a phone. So what is it? Well, it's my communication device. I do everything with this. You know what I used my phone for most recently that was really cool? I used it to order booze. Has anybody done that? Yeah. Drizzly? Their tagline, get the door, it's the liquor store. How awesome is that? All right? So I was doing a party at my house at July 4th, and my wife was just battling. She was getting ready, having all these kids over at the house to watch fireworks and all this stuff. And she's getting mad at me because I'm not doing anything. I'm just, sitting on my butt, waiting for people to show up, drinking beer. And she said, well, you got to do stuff. We've got to change air filters in the HVAC system. We got to change the lights. We've got to, there's wasp nests all over this house. And I was like, whoa, okay, I'll take care of this. I'll take care of this. So I went to another part of the house, pulled out my phone, and started ordering all this stuff. All right? So like Amazon Prime Now, and this company called Favor and Drizzling, it just started showing up. And man, she got so mad at me. Because in her mind, you're supposed to suffer. All right, you're supposed to like hustle and do all this amazing stuff to really earn the right to throw a party, where I took the easy way out. And I said, look, there's no award for this. You don't win by working the hardest, okay? You win by working the smartest. See, I'm folding this in here. All right, so we got a real problem, okay? We're not working smart, all right? So over the years, we've seen the rate at which we can deploy applications increase. I think it's exponential. I think we're being very generous with this diagram, okay? And we see a little bit of a jump for database deployments. I think that's probably because people are just hustling. They're working harder, all right? And look, these things are manual, slow and risky. All right, so how do we update a database today, all right? Typically, we're talking about a relational database. Typically, we write a SQL script. And if we're working with a large corporation, we have to fill out a ticket. And that ticket goes somewhere else, and somebody does it. So we're working with a company that is using a foundation as a service, okay? And they are able to deploy apps like this for dev, test, production, no problem. But they have to wait before they hit the magic make it go button. They have to wait days and days and days to get this updated, all right? For the database to get updated first, then they update the app. That's unacceptable, all right? And we're going to be talking about how we fix that, all right? But let's talk about, the end result here I know it's not as good as I want it to be. Tesla on wagon wheels, that's what our infrastructure looks like, all right? Now that I say, you kind of see the wagon wheels? All right, it was $5. I did it on Fiverr. We'll see, all right? That's what we're dealing with. We have all of these companies that are adopting new ways of getting applications out, but they're still stuck with an old way of deploying and updating the database schema and logic, and we got to fix that, all right? So how do we get in this mess? Well, let's go. Now we'll understand why we're doing, stuff from 1979. Is this working? Everybody know this one? No? No? You got to wait for it to kick in, I think. Okay. So what happened in 1979? Huh? Dukes of Hazzard. First time that aired. Pretty cool, right? Hey, we get a Walkman. That's pretty awesome. And also, we release Oracle V2, because Larry doesn't do V1, okay? First version was V2. That's when it was released, all right? So all sorts of amazing things happen, all right, up until 2002. And then we get this winter. Oh, yes. It was a bad year, you know. We got Nickelback, all right? You know. But hey, you know what? We also got the Agile Software Manifesto, all right? And that was cutting edge. I'm sorry, I'm just going to stop this early. Okay, sorry about that. So look, this was amazing, okay, because a bunch of cats got together and said, hey, we don't have to build software the same way we used to build bridges. Oh, hey, pretty revolutionary, okay? And so what we have here is a very early picture of a database administrator being invited to an Agile Scrum meeting. All right, one person laughed. Okay, that's good. I got a chuckle or two. All right, again, we are moving fast in software. Again, database administrators, the folks that take care of arguably the most important thing that we have at these large companies, they're kind of left out, all right? All right, last one, 2009. Who wants to make a guess? What was the #1 song 2009? No? No? Anybody? Yeah. Okay, so we got Black Eyed Peas, but we also got DevOps, all right? So, I don't know. It's kind of a trade-off, all right? And that was, you know, I think that came directly from Agile, okay? The fact that we were moving so fast, yes, we needed DevOps. Makes sense, okay? And so thus, we have an early picture here of a developer delivering SQL scripts to DBAs and demanding that they run it in production. Very receptive audience, okay? Not you guys, the DBAs, all right? Look, the bottom line is that it is here. William Gibson quote, we've heard this over and over again. The future is here. All right, on the dev side of the house, the DevOps side of the house, you know, provisioning, using the cloud. Holy crap, wow. It's just not to the data layer yet, okay? And so what we need to do is get it there, all right? And that's our challenge, all right? But first, let's talk about ways that we don't want to do it, okay? And here's the one that I think you're going to be dealing with a lot, all right? Who hears this? That's just not the way we do it. We've always done it this way. I need to quit stepping over here. This is weird. This is like an ollie on this thing or something. So the fact that we've done it that way is what we always hear. All right, that's just not the way we do it. And words like Sarbanes-Oxley, HIPAA compliance, PCI, we always hear this crap. It's not true, okay? There's a lot of things that we used to do, okay? This was fun, okay? All right, what else did we used to do? Oh yeah, stop fires, that was great. Put it in everything. We did a lot of that. Okay, all right. And of course, the other thing that we are doing that we need to get rid of is, come on, wait for it. I'm gonna have to go over here. My goodness. Anyway, that was a bad build. There we go. So look, this is not the way to do it, okay? This is creating a ticket to manage this is not how you manage the code, all right? So the way that you are managing the code, you are using source code control, all right? You are checking it is going through a life cycle. Somehow it is popping out at the other end, and somebody is automating the consumption of that. Along the way, we've got unit tests, we've got automated testing. These things need to be applied to our database schema and logic changes as well, all right? We do not need to have a human reviewing this stuff. Back when we were releasing once a quarter, that was great. We wanted the world's most powerful computer evaluating these SQL scripts. That made sense. We can't keep up anymore, all right? So we've got to have a better way. Now, the other option we're hearing is NoSQL, and that's like a panacea. There has been a drop in, NoSQL, okay? And that's primarily because the really cool data types that are available in things like Mongo and that kind of stuff is now in other databases. We can put a JSON object in there. Okay, cool, all right. We met halfway. But one argument that I'm hearing a lot is that it is easier for programmers. So let's look at SQL. I mean, look at this. This is so hard to understand. Whereas, you know, this is crystal clear, Very easy, no problem, okay? I don't buy the argument of it's easier for programmers, okay? It should be easier for the organization. All right, there's going to be a common theme. We are family here, okay? It is important that everybody benefits in our decisions about tools and how we're going to adopt things. We cannot, look, DevOps is not a hammer that you use to just beat people about the head with it, okay? Just to get your way, all right? It's a way to improve your organization. It's the first time in our history in technology that we've been able to apply, and this is from that State of DevOps report, all right, that Puppet Labs puts out. Last year before last, 2015, they found that companies that adopt DevOps have a higher market capitalization than the ones that don't. And they outperform the S&P 500. Yay, geeks win, all right? It used to be, hey, how do we get the revenue up? Make some products, sell some more stuff. No, adopt DevOps, all right? But it has to be good for the entire organization. Now, another thing that we hear is that NoSQL scales better, all right? And this assumes a couple things. One is that, that it's actually a problem for you, okay? And I don't want to insult you or anything like that, all right? But for most people, scalability really isn't a problem, okay? If it is, it's a wonderful problem to have, and I congratulate you on it, okay? It also assumes that it actually scales better, okay? There is a lot of debate, and I'm not going to get into it, about what is better for scaling, all right? So what I would recommend is instead of worrying about the single point, all right, in your infrastructure that is going to stop scalability, look at the entire organization. Look at that kind of value stream map, how we get software out the door, and focus your attention on those areas, all right? That's where you're going to get real improvements on scalability, not decreasing response time, okay? Yes, that's important, all right? But really getting software out the door faster so that you can get those new features out, fix those bugs, do all sorts of cool stuff. Let's talk about how we fix it, all right? So the first thing, there's 5 ways. We're going to count them down. Well, not count down. That would imply them starting at 5, starting at 1, okay? You are not done until the code is in production. All right, until the code is in the hands of your customer, well, I guess if you're using a mobile phone, right? It's in their hands, all right? Until it is in their hands, you're not done. The company is not receiving value for it, all right? Now, as a developer, as a tester, as somebody on the left side, from your angle, the left side might be done, okay? But it's still for the organization, it's not done yet, all right? So let's talk about this. Not talking about containers, all right? I'm talking about inventory. Now, inventory is risk for a brick and mortar company, all right? They take cash and they transfer that into a thing, okay? And they're hoping to buy low and sell high. Well, the risk is that you could buy too much and you got to liquidate it at a loss, all right? That's bad. Or you don't buy enough. All right, and so that's kind of, you're leaving money on the table, all right? There's also dealing with staggering it out. And managing inventory, if that's how Tim Cook got his job. He was really good at managing the supply chain to getting those Macs and those iPhones out the door, okay? He was really, really good at that. So dealing with this problem is very complex and very important for companies. Software is inventory. All right, let me say this again. Software is inventory. The reason why is because you take cash, you hire people, you get cloud services. I'm sorry if you buy servers, okay? Yeah, you at least buy laptops, right? Send people to conferences, all right? All this stuff. You are taking cash and you are turning that into a release. And the longer that release sits, not generating revenue, not cutting costs, means that you've got inventory just sitting on the shelves. You're not realizing value of it. So as you shorten that cycle, as you start to focus on being done when it's in production, that's going to allow you to speed these things up. All right? It's very important to realize that it's not enough to check in and get a good build out and I passed my unit test and we're done. All right? We're going to turn it over to production folks and they're going to deal with it. No, 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 no. You need to see it all the way through so that the company sees value for your effort. So let me say it one more time. You are not done until it's in production, all right? So it's changing how you fix this is how you look at it. Second thing is, and this we're going to kind of get into some geekery here, all right, actual concrete stuff. No more tickets, all right? I was saying earlier about you have to align those database schema and logic changes with your code, all right? This is how you do it, all right? Everything's in source code control. We no longer have this bimodal, two-way of doing stuff, all right? No, 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 no. We don't create a ticket and then let these guys take care of it, all right? Everything goes into source code control. All right, we're going to do a build, all right? We're going to use our favorite CI server, Jenkins, TeamCity, TFS, Bamboo. So I like to call it Shitty Jenkins, all right? And then we're going to, I love Bamboo, all right? Love Atlassian, all right? But Jenkins is better. Okay, so we're going to add that artifact from the workspace to authority, okay, to Artifactory. And when you query and browse, you're going to see it. You're going to see that SQL script in there. It's going to be versioned. It's going to be part of it, all right? And it becomes moot. What version of this database goes with this release? It's all in there. It's all part of it, all right? So I don't have to create a ticket. What I do is I have a release and I have a release process. Now maybe it's manual, but once you get to that point, then you start focusing on automation, all right? Once you get a part of this process, then you could say, okay guys, how are we going to fix this? How are we going to keep this going faster and faster? So this is just a little screenshot of us using Artifactory. This is Datical. We obviously do some stuff around this, but this is us checking it in. And what happens is that our customers just grab it and go. So it could be the same with the SQL script or our stuff or something else, all right? But it is absolutely imperative that you align those database changes with the code. It's got to be checked into source code. It's got to be checked in and pop out of the build system. And that's why you guys need to reach out to our database administrators. I'm going to assume we don't have a lot here. Any DBAs? Okay, we got one, all right. So, involuntary. So it's absolutely imperative that the developers here, you need to reach out to those DBAs. This is part of that. It's not done until it's in production. It is frankly the height of arrogance and rudeness to just say, okay, I'm done, I'm out. All right, it does the company no good. You need to get involved in this. This is not a task that is beneath you, all right? This is a very special, important thing, and you need to treat it as such, all right? Because that code that you wrote and you stayed up late to get done is not going to see the light of day until that issue is resolved, until the database is updated. Part of that is that there needs to be trust that the database administration team realizes that development is going to enforce good standards, all right? Now, a couple things that I've seen in my travels. You've heard the term doctor shopping, all right? You go from doctor to doctor and see if you can get a prescription, get something through, all right? I've seen DBA shopping, all right? And I'm getting a laugh from my one DBA. Oh, who's on call? Oh, the new DBA. Awesome. We're going to get this through real fast, okay? That's not a good thing, okay? There are standards there, and they're there for a reason. So let's talk about what are these good standards, database standards, that the dev team can help us enforce, all right? Not too many columns in an index, all right? This will actually slow down the index, all right? You don't want to cram a bunch of things in there. This is where you want to consult with your database professionals on what do we really need here, all right? Especially around indexes, because as development, you don't have a lot of insight into production. All right, so you need to rely on their expertise to say, yeah, this is going to work. Use their tooling, those sorts of things. All right, not too many indexes on a table. All right, this can actually slow down. As you increase the number of indexes on a table, it actually slows down the table itself. All right. This is one that's often missed, is that when you add a foreign key, make sure that the columns that are part of that foreign key have indexes already applied. All right. You can do that ahead, all right? You shouldn't make the DBA go and do, a query on the database to see if that's there, all right? Same data type usage, all right? This is not, varchar to a billion, okay, or something like that. There are important, there are reasons why we've got byte limits on these data types, all right? So figure out what makes sense, and don't just say, oh, well, I never want to have to worry about running out of space in this column, so I'm just going to make it huge, all right? That's not good, all right? That slows down everything. So when you want to start getting faster and faster on your process, that's actually going to slow things down. So you need to have same data type usage. And no naughty words in the database. All right, I'm not talking about those naughty words, all right? What are some naughty words I'm talking about?
No, keywords.
Yeah. No, okay, maybe, all right. Truncate, drop, grant. These are words that should not be in a stored procedure, okay? And truncate's my favorite, all right? So what I see, well, this doesn't happen a lot. I've only seen this once, but it was awful, okay? So that's why I'm bringing it up. So we had a stored procedure at a customer, and it was, you know, it had a temp table that they were loading data into. Okay, not ideal. And they were doing some stuff, collecting a bunch of data, loading it into this temp table, doing a select, and spitting it out. Okay, there's better ways of doing it, but it is what it is, all right? At the end, they were doing a truncate on the table. And what that does is that zaps all the data in the table. Okay, cool, they're cleaning up after themselves. You know, half a point. All right, good job. Well, what happens if you're using that, you select your data, and then you do a truncate, but somebody else called that same store procedure and is using that same table? You got a race condition, right? Those two people that call are always going to be racing against each other, and it's the hardest thing to debug ever. Like, what? It's there now. Now, was it there before? What happened? What happened? Reboot the database. It needs an index. These things, it's up to you to make sure, as a developer, to apply these good standards, okay, and look for these things, all right? Because until you start showing that level of concern and respect, it's really tough to get that from your database administrators. All right, so let's go more into development land, all right? This is, I was a Boy Scout. I firmly believe in this. You see me always picking up trash. Leave it better than you found it. Okay, so let's talk about when you need to make a change, how do we do this? All right, so we're familiar with this parallel change, expand, migrate, contract, you know, this pattern, all right? We need to add some functionality. We got a data clump, that's bad, and we need to use another class coordinate, okay? And we're gonna change this, all right? We've got methods that return different stuff. So we've got our old version and our new version. So the old stuff, the client, the other web service, whatever, is using this old stuff. But we have the new code there. And what that allows us to do is migrate. That allows us to get those other, and this is why we use web services, right? All right, we expand, we don't take away until we know we can take it. Sometimes we don't even do that, all right? And so we start having these other folks use the new way. And when we're certain that we are all using the new way, we get rid of the old way. All right, expand, migrate, contract. All right, this is how, you know, we do microservices. This when we say, oh, somebody else wants functionality, we don't break the old stuff. We just add new. All right, and when appropriate, we will get rid of the old stuff. Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's look about how this applies to databases. Okay. So here we have. This is just bad. All right, we've got the name column there. You see it's first name and last name. All right, bad example, all right, but it is an example, all right? So we need to split that into two columns, all right? Now, we don't just add two columns and then drop the other one, okay? Because we have other stuff. We have stored procedures, views, trigger, I don't know. We've got a bunch of other crap out there that might be using this column, all right? So we need to expand. What we need to do is point this over here. And so you see we've got first name, last name. All right, we've added that. And we've just done an update and using, you know, whatever substring function we've got with this database, SQL Server, Oracle, whatever. Okay. And so we just copied it over. All right, we're cool. So now we've updated this and the new code can take advantage of it. And then down the road when we know that this column isn't being used, we can just zap it, all right? We can drop it, all right? And everybody's happy. So that is that expand, migrate, contract pattern that we would apply to code. Well, we're applying it to the database as well. And so this is how you're going to do it. This is how you're going to help your database administrators start to consume these things and frankly start to build that level of trust, okay? It's not, well, tear it down. I don't have to worry about it in my dev environment because I have no data in there, right? So it's imperative that you folks, the development team, starts thinking more like that. Understand that we need to migrate our database changes. Finally, don't do this, okay? What this is doing is this is just automatically adding that name column based on the other two. Just don't do this. This kind of stuff does not belong in a database, all right? This belongs in the code, all right? Let's just keep the data in the database, and then we'll deal with it later, okay? Finally, I know this is a little hokey, all right, but this is true, all right? The reason why we're adopting, adopted Agile, we valued people over processes and tools, all right? Conversations. Don't give me requirements. Tell me a story. And don't tell me how to do it. I'll do it myself, okay? All right, that was Agile. All right, DevOps. Hey, man, we're doing a lot of cool stuff in dev. We're doing a lot of cool stuff over in the ops side. We really need to get people talking together. We need to build a bridge here and get over it, all right? Well, we need to do the same thing with our database administrators. For too long, they have been left out, all right? Picture, lonely child, looking at everybody having fun. They don't have a lot of cool tools. I mean, they still got to deal with Toad. Who here uses Toad, all right? All right, for the folks that haven't used Toad, it looks like Mima's browser, all right, with like 8 billion toolbars installed. I mean, there's like, it's got icons in there. I don't even know, like a Dairy Queen icon is in there. I don't even know what it does, all right? You get a chicken finger basket or something, you hit it. But it's an awful tool. They don't get cool stuff. So it is imperative that as we start going out in this brave new world of microservices and containers and really moving our company to the cloud and adopting DevOps to increase market cap so we can make a lot of money, all right, that we need to bring these folks along and so that we can get better, all right? Teamwork makes the dream work. Hokey as hell, I know. Well, anyway, guys, that's all I got. I think I nailed it as far as time. So let's go ahead and open up for questions, thoughts, concerns, a drawing of sorts. Yeah. We all want to see the drawing, don't we? Could I get 2 folks from JFrog to come up front to do the drawing for us? Could we do that? Our session leaders, our track leaders, because they did such a great job. Let's give them a hand, guys. Putting all this together, couldn't have done it without you. Well, over there, so before we do our drawing, does anybody need to put their name in to get the Legos? Sorry, not you guys. You get to do the drawing. Okay, so one of you is going to shuffle them up in that cup, and the other one of you is going to do the drawing. Okay, everybody's going to look. Keep them honest, all right?
Where is it? It's that cup.
Oh, that cup right there. Oh, it's so heavy. Ow. Oh, God. So many Legos. Ah. Who's that? Come and get it, man. Don't be angry, guys. Get a round of applause.